Hey, good morning, and welcome to this energizing flow to wake you up for the day. We're going to start lying down. You might want to grab a block if you've got one nearby, no worries if not. It's always easy to do these things without any equipment at all still. Taking yourself down onto the back of the body, stretching the legs out, resting the arms either alongside you with the palms towards the ceiling, or maybe one hand is coming onto the tummy and the other hand onto the chest. And as always, we'll take a moment before we go into our physical asana practice to check in with how we're feeling. Maybe you've literally just gotten out of bed or taken some time before you start the rest of your day. And it's always nice to take that moment to notice the body, notice the mind, noticing the breath. Scanning down from the top of the head, through the face, the neck, the shoulders, just observing any sensations, any points of tension or discomfort. Moving through the chest, the tummy, the hips, the thighs, the knees, the calves, and the feet. Let's take 3 breaths together to open our practice. Breathing in, expanding the tummy up and out. Open the mouth to exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Another deep breath in. And breathing out. Good. Start to stretch those arms over the head as you inhale and reaching through the body, taking a big stretch through the fingers, the toes, reaching. As you exhale, drawing the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the legs, and you can just start to lift the shoulders and head off the ground here slightly too. Good. Inhale, let's stretch out. Make yourself nice and big. Reach. And exhale, hug everything into the body, lifting the head, the shoulders slightly. So we start to engage the core here. Good. One more time. Inhale, stretching out. Reach. Squeezing the muscles, maybe a little roll of the wrists, pressing through everything. Exhale, hug inwards, holding onto the body. Good. Bring the soles of the feet down onto the ground. Reach the fingers towards the heels. Feet are about hip width apart here. As you inhale, press into the ground, lifting the hips high, coming into our bridge pose. Now engage the glutes, engage the inner thighs. Good. Exhale, bringing the hips down to the ground. Another 2 times. Inhale, lift, press down into the heels. Squeezing the back body, engaging the inner thighs. Exhale. We lower all the way down. Good, last one. Pressing, coming into that bridge pose. Exhale, lower the hips, down through the ground. Hug the knees into the chest. Let's take a few rocks up and down the spine. So maybe just 2 or 3 times. I'm going to come into our boat pose, Navasana. So see if you can balance onto the sit bones here. Reach the arms forwards. Maybe the toes are touching the floor. You can have the shins parallel to the ground. Keep lifting from heart center, so from the sternum. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Good. One more breath in. Exhale, cross the ankles over, roll over the knees. Come into a tabletop position. Let's straight away tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And I start to walk the feet out here, bending one knee, then the other. And this is us waking up through the back of the body, waking up those hamstrings. Now press the palms into the floor, spread those fingers really wide so you have a nice stable base for the upper body. Good. One more breath here, walking through the feet, breathing in and out. Inhale, lift that right leg up towards the ceiling. Bend the knee, bring the heel towards the pelvis. Now let's take 3 rolls with the ankle one way and the other way. Good. Inhale, straighten that leg. Doesn't matter how high the leg's going. Exhale, bring the knee towards the nose. Now engage the core here. Spread the shoulder blades round through the upper back. Good. Inhale, take the leg up and back towards the ceiling. Exhale, knee to nose. Last time, inhale, we go up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Now place that foot down in between the hands. Try and do it as gently as possible. If you need to use the other arm to move the foot forwards, that's fine too. Lower the back knee down, sweep the arms under and through, low lunge, Energising. Good. Find a nice right angle with this front leg, so you might need to move that front foot forward slightly so you stack the knee over the ankle. Press through the upper body. Maybe you open the hands slightly. Last breath in. Exhale, left hand comes down to the ground, or maybe there's a block under the hand. Extend that back leg, right arm towards the ceiling. We find a twist. Now I want you to wrap that top arm all the way behind the back, reaching for the opposite hip crease. Good. Try and open that top shoulder towards the ceiling, so you start to rotate deeper through the spine. The chest is opening. God, this is a really big stretch through the body. Last breath in. Exhale. Gaze comes down to the ground. Bring that right hand down. Front foot comes to the back. Inhale here. Exhale, knees come down, then the chest and the chin. Inhale, cobra. Lift the torso slightly. Hips stay down on the ground. Squeeze those elbows behind you. Exhale, tuck the toes. Lift up and back. Downward facing dog. Let's walk the feet out for a moment. Bend one knee, then the other. Inhale, left leg rises. Bend the knee, heel towards the pelvis. Open that top hip. Now 3 circles with the ankle one way and the other way. You might notice a few clicks through the foot or ankle. That's perfectly fine. It's just air popping out of those joints. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Engage the core around the shoulder blades. Good. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. See if that knee can kiss up towards the nose. Good. Last time, inhale, up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Place that foot down, lower the back knee. Arms sweep under and through, low lunge, Energising. Reaching to the ceiling, right angle with that front leg. Always the option for something underneath that back knee for a bit of cushioning. One more breath here, breathing in. Exhale, right hand comes down to the ground or a block. Left hand up to the ceiling. Extend that back leg. Press the heel behind you, open through that chest. Now wrap that top hand behind you, reaching for the hip. Open that top shoulder towards the ceiling so we start to deepen that twist through the body. Gaze is lifting up. Good. Last breath here. Just go as far as is comfortable for you. Exhale, gaze comes down to the ground. Hand reaches the floor. We're stepping forwards now to the front of the mat, finding our forward fold. Take the feet about hip width apart. A soft bend in the knees. Catch hold of the elbows. Let the crown of the head fall down and we'll gently sway side to side. One more breath. Breathing in. Exhale, let those hands fall down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Slide the hands up the shins. Gaze forwards, we flatten the spine, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, fold. Good. And again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching towards the ceiling. Sweep those arms up. Gaze follows the hands. Press tall. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Good. Tadasana, mountain pose at the top of the mat. Feet together or slightly apart. Palms facing forwards. Draw that tailbone down. Lengthen through the body. Sun Salutation A. Inhale, reaching the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, folding all the way down. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands come down. Step the right foot back and then the left. Inhale, take a breath in your high plank. Exhale, option to knees, chest, chin. Or chaturanga, gaze forwards on the toes. Lower down just above the ground. Inhale, let's lift up, upward facing dog. Soften those shoulders, open the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, let's take 3 breaths here. Start with the foundation, spread the fingers, press the palm. Lengthen through the upper body. Feet are about hip width apart. Option to bend the knees if you want to use that to support lifting the hips. Or maybe those heels can start to draw down to the ground. 1 more breath here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale, looking towards the hands, bend the knees. Exhale, step or jump to the front of the mat. Good. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping, rising towards the ceiling, Urdhva Hastasana, pressing tall. Exhale, hands down through heart center, Samastitihi. Sun Salutation B. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, bend the knees, sweep the arms under and through. Good, tuck the tailbone behind you. Exhale, folding, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen, gaze forwards. Exhale, hands come down, step or jump. Knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhale, open the body. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, looking to the hands. Take that right foot forwards. Ground the back heel down to 45 degrees. Rise up, warrior 1. On the right side, square the hips, right hip back, left hip forwards. Exhale, hands come down. Frame the front foot to the back. Inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing. Good. Look towards the hands. Inhale, step the left foot forwards. Ground the back heel down, 45 degrees. We rise up, warrior 1. Exhale, bring the hands down. Frame that front foot to the back. Inhale here. Option, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Or maybe your child's pose for 3 breaths. Child's pose, we can take the knees down to the ground. Hands can be behind us. Or we can take the knees wide. Reach the arms forwards. So maybe it's here, all downward facing dog. And let's take 2 more breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Working our way back to the front of the mat. Looking towards the hands, bend the knees. Step or jump. Let's take an inhale into that halfway lift. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Bend the knees, sinking the bum down. Good. Exhale, let's fold it forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose once again. Sweep the arms under and through. Now sinking down. Good. Shift the weight back towards the heels. Gaze follows the hands. Last breath in. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down. Take that right foot to the back of the mat. I'm going to find a high lunge here. So try and keep that back knee lifted if you can. Sweep the arms under and through, lunging into that front leg. Good. Just find the balance here for a moment. Engaging that front thigh and the glutes. Last breath in. Exhale, we're going to take a twist towards the left. So bring the hands down to shoulder height. Twisting from the center of the body. Inhale, reach the arms up through center. Good, untwisting. Exhale, same side. Last time, inhale. Move through center. Exhale, same side. Inhale, move through center. Exhale, open out, warrior two. Take a moment to readjust the feet here. Maybe widen the stance slightly. Get those feet in line, front heels intersecting the arch of the back foot. Reaching through the arms. Soften those shoulders away from the ears. Good. Inhale, flip the front palm over, reach forwards. Taking the back hand down, reach it up and over. Exhale into that reverse warrior. We're going to keep flowing. Just one breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up, come back through warrior two. Exhale. Extended side angle. Front arm comes down to the thigh. Sweep the back arm under and through. Reaching that top arm to the corner of the top of the room. Good. One breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Top arm comes down to the ground. Come onto the ball of the back foot. We come back to our twist. Left arm reaches towards the ceiling. And maybe you're staying here. Maybe you're finding that bind again. Wrap that top arm behind the back. Open the shoulder towards the ceiling. Just go as far as feels comfortable for you in this twist. Last breath in. Exhale. Gaze comes down to the ground. Frame the front foot to the back. High plank. Breathe in. Optional vinyasa, so maybe knees, chest, chin, maybe chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, let's keep flowing. Inhale, looking towards the hands, right foot comes forwards. High lunge, sweep the arms under and through. Lunging into that front leg. Take a moment here, find the balance, squaring the hips. Inhale. Exhale, we're twisting to the right this time. So other side to before. Bring those arms down to shoulder height. Inhale, reaching up. Untwist the body. Exhale, same side. Inhale, reaching up. Last one, exhale. Same side. Inhale, reaching up, untwist. Exhale, open out, warrior two. Always take a moment to readjust the feet. You can look down at the feet, it's not cheating. Spreading through the arms, gaze to that front middle finger, lunge into that front leg. Soften the shoulders. Let's keep flowing. Flip the front palm over, reach forward. Take yourself back into that reverse warrior. Good, now keep that lunge in that front leg. Draw that front knee out to the side. Last breath here. Inhale, rise up through warrior two. Front arm comes down to the thighs, sweep the back arm under and through, extended side angle. Good. Now press through that top arm. Last breath in. Exhale. Left hand comes down to the ground or a block. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Right arm stretches up. We find that twist. Option to stay here. Maybe you're finding that little bind behind the back. Drawing that top hand behind you, opening that top shoulder, maybe twisting a little bit deeper through the body. Last breath in. Exhale. Bring the gaze down to the ground, frame the front foot. This time we're going to sweep that right leg all the way up towards the ceiling. Exhale. Bring the right knee behind the right wrist, coming into our pigeon pose. So cross that ankle to the other side of the mat. Use that back foot to open through the hips. Maybe there's a block that comes underneath that right hip if the hip is lifted off the ground. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, lowering the torso down, take the elbows wide. Rest the forehead. So let's start to come back into the body and the breath now as we start to slow ourselves down. Getting this deep opening through the hip in loads of different ways. That was quite a juicy and fiery flow. And here we're going to start to slow the breath down. Two more breaths here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lifting the chest. Coming high onto the fingers. Take that back leg, swing it all the way around to the front, and the foot is going to come onto the outside of the thigh. So I'll show you what this looks like from the front. And then we're going to take a twist towards the left, so wrap the right arm around the knee. Other arm is behind you, supporting the body. So again, I'll kind of show you what that looks like. Good, so you can see the other arm is behind like this. And we're going to gaze over that back shoulder. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, deepen that twist, soften the shoulders. One more breath here. Good. Exhale, release that twist. Unravel the legs and come into that boat pose, Navasana. Reach the arms forwards. Maybe the toes are down, maybe the legs are parallel. Lift from heart center. Good. Exhale, cross the ankles over. Stepping or jumping, optional vinyasa. So maybe you're going straight to pigeon pose. Maybe you're coming with me for a knees, chest, chin. Or chaturanga. Open the body, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing. Lift that right leg. Left leg, sorry. Going over to the other side. Left knee behind the left wrist. And with everything in yoga, you just make sure you do the opposite side to before. So don't be too stressed about your left and right. If that hip is lifted, you bring a block or a cushion or anything nearby underneath the hip. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, elbows go wide, rest the forehead down. And let's come back to the breath here. Starting to slow down the body. Softening the muscles. And releasing any resistance to the opening of the hips here. Getting this deep stretch through the lower part of the body. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lifting the chest. Just taking any equipment out from underneath. Sit over onto that left hip. Swing that back leg all the way around to bring it onto the outside of the thigh. Then we're taking a twist towards the right this time. Hook that left arm around. Other hand is supporting behind. Inhale, lengthen through the body, growing tall. Exhale, gaze over the back shoulder, deepening that twist. Good, 2 more breaths. Breathing in. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Good. Releasing that twist. Straightening through the legs, bringing them onto the ground in front of you. Now we stretched out through those hamstrings. We're going to go through for a Paschimottanasana. And I want you to sort of tilt the hips forwards first. Option to have those knees bent a little bit, or if the flexibility allows, just have the legs straight down onto the ground. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, reach forwards, forwards, forwards. And holding onto the feet. And we fold down. Let's take a bit of a dynamic movement here, actually. Inhale, reaching up again. Exhale, reach forwards and fold. One more time. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale, reach forwards and fold. Now, if you find that hamstrings feel a bit tight in your here, bend the knees, tilt the hips forwards, and bring the chest towards the thighs like so. We prefer that straight spine rather than straight legs. If it feels okay, you just walk those heels away from you, and we fold down. Good, let's take 2 more breaths here. Breathing in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Rising up. Okay, coming to comfortable seated position, we're just going to do a little bit of breath work, pranayama, to close our practice. If you've got a cushion or block, maybe sitting onto that. When it's in the morning, I don't often tend to close with a lying down shavasana because, we're trying to build up that energy for the day rather than to bring it back down onto the floor. So grow nice and tall through the body, soften the shoulders away from the ears, closing down the eyes for a moment. Let's bring a hand onto the chest and a hand onto the tummy. I'm going to go for a 3-part breath. So we breathe into the tummy, then the chest, and then we exhale. We'll do this 5 times through the nose and then with a sigh out through the mouth instead. Let's take a conscious breath together first. Breathing in. Exhale. Inhale, tummy. Inhale into the chest. Exhale through the nose. Good. Inhale, expand that bottom part of the torso. Inhale, chest. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, tummy. Inhale, chest. Exhale, nose. 2 more times. Inhale, tummy. Inhale, chest. Exhale, nose. Inhale, tummy. Inhale, chest. Exhale, nose. Good. Same pattern, but we'll breathe out through the mouth with a sigh. Inhale, tummy. Inhale, chest. Sighing out. Good. Inhale, tummy. Inhale, chest. Sighing out. Inhale, tummy. Inhale, chest. Sighing out. 2 more times. Inhale, tummy. Big inhale into the chest. Sighing out. Good. If you're at home, you don't need to be scared of the noise. Inhale, tummy. Inhale, chest. Let it all go, sighing out. Good. Let those hands rest down to the ground, into the lap. Let's take a recovery breath together, breathing in all the way. Open the mouth to release. 1 more time, breathing in. And releasing out. Let's take a moment here in stillness before we carry on the rest of our day. Noticing how you're feeling. Maybe that comparison to when you started this practice compared to now. And knowing that you don't need to rush into the rest of your day, you can still take some time, maybe a mindful cup of tea, maybe a little bit of journaling to set some intentions for the day ahead. Knowing that you've started your day right, you've done all the right things. Let's take one last breath together. Breathing in and out. Good. Opening the eyes if they're closed. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful day ahead, and I'll see you next time.